to be the offensive coordinator. So that's an interesting staff in Arizona now.
It is.
I think Cliff's a risky hire, but you give him a big-time defensive coordinator, guy knows what he's doing, and then you bring in a guy who's been in the NFL guy as a coordinator. Now the Arizona staff with Cliff makes a little sense. I like that. At least that's now fun to watch. That's not man overboard.
Well, that was always my concern with Kingsbury, and it's my concern with all of these young coaches in Cleveland, and well, not even young, just inexperienced coaches. Put people around you that have experience and know what they're doing and have a proven track record. I think that's a big part of what has made Sean McVay successful.
Well, let's go to Greg Jennings via the Cowherd Global Satellite Network. Decade in the NFL, Super Bowls, Pro Bowls. Let's talk about the Packers, because Cliff Kingsbury, I didn't love the hire, but I do like Vance Joseph now, a grown-up defensive. Sark's been in college and pro. I feel better today. The Green Bay thing with Matt LaFleur, Greg, he's been a play caller for 1 year. It wasn't a great year in Tennessee. I don't, again, people think I'm anti-Packer. I don't love it. It feels weird to me. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't love it. I think it was a curveball, a huge curveball that no one saw coming. And quite frankly, when you look at why they're saying that he was the interesting and intriguing hire, and I'm sure that this isn't just everything that they put their eggs in the basket because of, but it was known that he was going to keep Mike Pettin as a defensive coordinator. So we like that about him. And I thought to myself, if you're going to hire a guy, just hire Mike Pettin and then get your own offensive coordinator. Why would you bring in a whole head coach because he said he's going to keep their defensive coordinator? Like, I don't know how much they're really sold. Obviously, they are sold on him. But I have some red flags, and he's going to have a huge, huge microscope on him, like magnifying glass. It's going to be an interesting year for the Green Bay Packers.
By the way, let me just ask you about the young guys. Is that, a veteran NFL player's 34. Some of these coaches are 34. There is this sense that if you ever had a beer with Sean McVay, you get a job interview. What do you make of the whole McVay tree?
Well, it's an interesting dynamic. You have a young coach who has been around great coaches for a long time in Sean McVay, the John Grudens, and those type of offensive minds. But he still hasn't proven to win in the playoffs. However, you have all these organizations who loves what he has provided for a young team with a young quarterback. With a fresh mindset offensively and an innovative mindset, and it's intriguing. And so everyone's looking at this in Sean McVay like, well, if they did it with McVay, maybe we can do it with our hires. So you see all these kind of random hires that no one ever saw coming. But one thing that McVay understood, which is what you were talking about before you had me on with Kingsbury, is he accompanied his staff with Wade Phillips, a proven defensive mind head coach who had been around for a long time to kind of balance what he was getting ready to do. And I like that about what Sean McVay has been able to do. Can these other coaches mimic that and create a staff that makes them better, that pulls even more out of them? We'll see.
Yeah, the Sean McVay coaching tree is definitely more of a weed than it is an actual tree at this point. So I look at your picks. It says here you like the Saints, they're favored. You like the Patriots, they're favored. You like the Rams, they're favored. But you are going to go with the dog on the Colts. And this is the pick I said earlier on our Blazing Five is I'll take Kansas City, but I kind of feel like we got ourselves a shootout here. Why do you like the Colts?
Couple reasons why I like the Colts. The one main reason is because of the way that they're playing and the quarterback play that they're getting out of Andrew Luck. And defensively, they look really, really good. Making a lot of plays for that team and that offense, getting the ball back into Luck's hands. But secondly is back in 2012 season, we went 15-1.
Yeah.
The year after we won the Super Bowl, we had one of the most highest scoring offenses in all of football, if not the highest scoring offense in all of football, could put up a lot of points. However, our defense couldn't stop anyone, but they could create turnovers. And when I look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they remind me of who we were that year. They can put up a lot of points, but their defense not really able to stop opponents, but they will take the ball away. In the playoffs, that all went for nothing because as an offense, we had to carry that team and we didn't produce the way our defense needed us to produce and how we had produced all year. And the Kansas City Chiefs have a small margin of error because their defense can't stop an offense like the Indianapolis Colts. So this is why I'm picking the Colts.
Yeah, you know, people that even Vegas, a lot of people like the Colts this weekend, which I love Andy Reid. And I'm going to lean Kansas City because I think Andy off a bye is really good. Okay, so I said this earlier. When people get upset, whether you're a parent, you're a dad, you're a mom, you're a player, you're a coach, anywhere in life, if you get upset, it's generally because something didn't meet expectations. You go to the airport, you're mad at the airline because you're 15 minutes late, right? The plane? Okay. If you look at Dak and you line up all the traits of Dak, mobile, not a great arm, not a big risk taker, a grown-up, low risk, mobile, he really is Alex Smith. And everybody goes, well, Alex Smith has been 8 straight winning seasons, 3 Pro Bowls, 3 division titles, 5 playoff appearances. If I was a Cowboy fan, I would sign up for Alex Smith's career from Dak. I think the problem in Dallas is Cowboys have higher expectations than what is reality. I think Dak is Alex Smith. I think they play alike. Dak's a little heavier. I mean, is that a weird comparison? Because I think the Cowboys are going to go into the playoffs this weekend and lose. And the question's going to be after the game, you can't win the big one with Dak, which is what everybody's been saying for 9 years with Alex Smith. Your thoughts?
I don't disagree with you. I can definitely see why you would draw that comparison. Alex Smith always needed guys around him to make sure that he was able to kind of be the best Alex Smith we were able to see. And the same goes with Dak Prescott. However, I think their mentalities are a little different. I think Dak Prescott thinks and believes that he's more than just Alex Smith. Now, from our vantage point, yeah, we can see that comparison because his team has supported him while in Dak Prescott's mind, he believes that I'm better than what everybody's giving me credit for. I've won in this league in the regular season. Now I've won a game in the playoffs. If he continues to win, why would he not see himself as one of the elite quarterbacks or believe himself to be one of those elite quarterbacks? He has every right to feel that way. I just don't think he is personally. But to your point, I agree. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, finally, the Pittsburgh Steelers the Rooney family is patient, tolerant, quiet. They came out yesterday and said, yeah, we don't think this Antonio Brown thing is going to work out. Antonio's obviously a 100-catch guy, dozen touchdowns, 1,500 yards. He may not work in Pittsburgh. He works all over this league. You don't think New England? I mean, I'm sitting to myself thinking, where would he land? Pittsburgh probably wouldn't send him to New England, right? Where do you think
No. That's like giving your big brother something else that he can beat you up with, and you know it will beat you up. Like, absolutely not. Pittsburgh has been trying to get over that New England Patriot hump for years, and to send one of their best players, if not their best player outside of Ben Roethlisberger, over to Big Brother? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That will never happen.
Okay, but do you think Antonio, they said basically they're going to trade him. I mean, you ran a franchise. I mean, it's funny. I wouldn't build around him, and I'm not into diva receivers, but that's my problem with Odell Beckham. I'm not going to build around him. I like having Odell on my team. I don't have a problem with Odell. I like somebody that can make 100 catches. Would you bring Antonio on a team?
I would definitely bring Antonio Brown on a team. And let me say this, Odell Beckham, he gets, in my opinion, he gets a really bad rap because he's never had like character issues. He's never had these run-ins with teammates and with coaches. his things has always been the extra antics on the football field because of his playmaking ability. It's never been anything that we question off the field or with teammates. So let's leave Odell Beckham out of this. Antonio Brown, however, completely different player. What they provide is similar, but what he brings to the table from a personality standpoint is a lot greater and a lot more to handle. And I think when you're thinking about surrounding him with a young quarterback and a young team, you got to be leery of the influence he'll have on that team.
That's a very fair point. Antonio, with a veteran quarterback, a Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson, a veteran guy who can handle it. I'm not throwing him up there with Josh Rosener. Good point. Greg Jennings, who is dressed for Minnesota weather. It's only 32 degrees today, so that ain't bad. January standard in Minnesota. Good talking to you, bud.
Absolutely. This is bad hair day. A lot going on. We'll talk about it.
By the way, if you own a sports team, you need to be informed, make smart decisions. Same when you're buying a car. Go to TrueCar.com. Check out the true price inside of a true car. New or used. Doesn't matter if you're buying either. TrueCar.com. Save $3,000 off MSRP. Here's Joy with the news.